Tick Nitty Run the City, No Cap Rap News, back with another one. Got my coffee this morning, man. Salute to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel, man. I really appreciate it. Today we got that boy, Joe Budden, man. He went on Jim Jones' podcast. They talked about Melyssa Ford stepping away from the show and him hiring Mona. I like Mona, man. Mona cool. I like Melyssa. She was cool too, man. So let's shout out to my boy Chigs, man. Let's hit the transition and get right into it, bruh.
Coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Finally, you guys, we're finally getting some answers about what happened with Melyssa Ford on the Joe Budden podcast. Now, first of all, I want to take some time to address all you guys that was hating on Jim Jones doing the podcast. A lot of people said, yo, Jim Jones is a copycat. He sees what's working for people like Joe Budden, people like Nori, Gilly, and Wallow, and he wants to do the same thing. If you guys don't know, Jim Jones basically has 2 podcasts out right now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. If you're a hustler and you see other people hustling, that's how it normally go, bro. You get inspired and you feel like you can add something to the playing field, so you hop out there, man. And if it work, it work. If it don't, you keep it moving, man. So salute Jim Jones for taking that leap.
You guys all know his main podcast called Let's Rap About It with Mano, Fab, and also Dave East. But Jim is also tapping into his journalist bag with a one-on-one podcast. He's got a podcast called Artist to Artist where he interviews different kind of artists. And before you guys start hating on it, it's actually pretty dope. One of the main reasons why it's dope is because Jim Jones is an artist that people respect, not only in the music industry, but also in the streets. You guys know when artists go up and do interviews, a lot of times they half-ass the interview. Sometimes these guys are high, drunk, or both. But when these guys sit with Jim Jones, it's a whole different level of respect. They know Jim is not the one to play with. They know he can easily go from 0 to 100. He's not shy about letting people know he's a crash out. And he's also not shy about checking people. So when people sit with Jim Jones, it's a little bit more respect that they have with other interviewers. For the last 2 months, Joe has refused to talk about Melyssa Ford and the reason why she's not on the podcast anymore. Every now and then, somebody on the podcast will drop a hint about why Melyssa's not there anymore. But even with the fans asking about it, Joe has not talked about it. That is until today. If you guys don't know, Joe did an interview with Jim Jones on his podcast platform, Artist to Artist, and he flat out asked him, yo, is Melyssa Ford on the podcast or not? And you can tell Joe really did not want to answer this question. He thought about it and gave the most diplomatic answer he possibly could. Here's what he said.
So yeah, any show I've ever done is under my network. I have worked with some other podcasters to build shit from the ground up. Hasn't always gone the greatest. Sometimes it's been good. And sometimes, well, most times it's been bad for me. And I ain't really made too much money from doing it that way. I ain't gonna lie. The success I've seen is from a group of people sitting in that living room and talking about it and chopping the dope and just moving around with it. That's the network. The success of, I think you only need The Office or Seinfeld, or you only need that.
I'm basically said you only need one show to sustain the whole network for real. You know what I mean? One super popular show like his show is like Seinfeld, Office, them was really big shows, and Jerry Seinfeld made a lot of money from just that one show. So he's saying he make most of his money from the Joe Budden podcast, which makes sense. You know, that's the first one that people reacted to and resonated with, so why not just keep it in that circle? As far as the fans go, you know, they gonna want to stick to what they know most of the time. How you come in is how they gonna see you forever, so stick with that, and it's working. No need to, you can try other stuff, but, you know, if they don't work, keep it moving, man. It's easy, it's simple.
So is Melyssa still part of the show now, or is just Mona that's part of the show now?
I didn't do a swap.
All right.
I didn't do a swap. See,
okay.
One of y'all on them phones over there. No, I didn't do a swap.
All right.
Melyssa stepped away.
Okay.
And Mel, was negotiating for
Shouts to Melyssa.
quite some time. Shout out to Melyssa. We love her.
But I can't say this. Mona has been one of my favorite people since the pandemic.
So he said Melyssa was negotiating. They couldn't come to a fair price or the price she wanted, I guess. He didn't feel she deserved that price. Was she a good part of the show? When she was active and when she was participating in the show, you know what I mean? She was cool. She gave a different perspective. She was intelligent, had big words to, the word of the day and different stuff like that. So she added elements to the show. Mona is more a little bit more relatable probably than Melyssa is to like the average listener. She funny, she hood, she gonna say what's on her mind. Melyssa kind of fall back and kind of avoid certain conversations, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I like both of them though, but salute to Mona for stepping up and stepping in.
She is one of the most funniest, touch your soul funny. Just her talk, she don't even gotta be funny. She just, to her walk in and you see, you just want to laugh. She has that type of aura to her. I was so happy when I seen her on the couch. I was like, oh, now this show just got some more legs, because this girl is a whole show on her own. That's very dope, man. Shouts to you, Mona. I just want to give you
word, no.
Give you a motherfucking flowers, girl. You did that, girl. Show out.
I gotta clap it up for Mona, but I gotta start checking her show out. I never watched the solo podcast she had, Don't Call Me White Girl or something like that. I gotta check it out though and see what's, she doing something right if she made it to this spot. So salute to Mona, man. Let's go.
Now.
And she has been. She's been great. She's been on time, just as funny as I imagine. I've been plotting on Mona for a while. She hate when I say that because she was in whatever contract she was in. But.
Yes, I always used to hear the time. I didn't have no platform. I used to always say yo, you need to girl, even when she was with Gillian Wallow, I believe that's the first one. So I was when they had her, I was well, I don't know what happened, but I'm thinking I would have kept her close. That girl got some shit with her, but dope. I'm glad she's with you.
So she was the one that was first with Gillian Wallow. I remember that show way back when they first started. She was the one on there. Okay. I wonder why that didn't work out. And they all from Philly too. I think she from Philly. I don't want to speculate and make no, false claims and then, but y'all might have missed out on Gillian Wallow. Y'all might have shot yourself in the foot with that one. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but let's go.
How long you can contain good talent like that, right? Even if she stayed, she was going to eventually go and need her own.
100%.
Yeah, the dogs get big and got to leave the cage at some point. So Mona is great. We love Mel. Shout out to her. So, yeah. Real funny, whoever that is over there back.
Now, if this was any other interviewer, Joe would have given them the runaround. He would have given them some kind of philosophical answer that really make no sense.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. However, you could not step twice into the same rivers. But the mind is not a vessel to be filled. Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying. I think all of us are trying when we think about it,
Joe would have given the most frustrating.
Yeah, he would have spit the shit out of that shit, but that's Joe Budden, man. You know what to expect. I'm surprised he answered a lot of the questions that Jim Jones had on the show, bro, for real. Normally he'd be trying to duck them. He tried to duck a couple of them on there now, especially when it came to money, how much Spotify was trying to pay him and all this stuff, which is understandable. You don't want to say too much or let people count his pockets. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, bro, about this situation. Is Melyssa Ford missed or is Mona welcomed? I watched the show and I kind of feel some kind of way about both of them, man. I kind of miss Melyssa and I kind of welcome Mona. I wish both of them was on there at the same time. That would have been dope. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Salute to Chigs Smooth. Tick need to run the city, no cap, rap news. Peace.